It's a good morning, everyone. It's a Pip Oven this morning. Good morning, guys. For the London session, we're going to be together from 10 o'clock now until just about 11 o'clock, half past 11, depending on how the market treats us. Would this be an exciting market? Let us join in together. Please, you can help us to share the link in any of the other platforms on Facebook, then we can do this session together. We're going to be seeing what's up for gold, what's up for pound, and what's up for many other pairs. That's what we're going to be looking at. All right. So let us just help us right there to share the screen or to share the link to different guys who could be available right there to trade this with us. I'm looking at to see what's going to happen to the pound after a serious fall that we experienced some other time. So yeah, get your charts ready. You can drop us any pair that you'd like to check, not a problem at all. And then from there, grab your coffee, grab your water. That's my coffee. Then we can have some nice market trading tonight, rather this morning, for the London session. So please feel free to ask any question. Good morning to everybody. Okay, so there we go. We're here. So don't be afraid to ask any question, and then we're going to be starting pretty soon. In fact, we've already started now. Okay. Right. Right. So we're gonna be continuing. Don't worry. It's gonna be a nice one. I hope the markets would. The London session today will allow us to get some nice opportunities. So we're hoping to see if the price of dollar will bounce from those lows after the results of what happened on Wednesday. So that's what we are watching to see. Please, guys, note that we're still seeing a very big fall there. A big drop even during the beginning of the session of the pound. Will they recover? That's the big question. You know, we've been 2 hours now in the session. We are waiting to see if the pound will recover, especially against the dollar. Currently, we are seeing the price missing these demand levels on M30 and even on H1 basis. So we're waiting to see if the price would keep retesting this level and keep going to the downside. That's what we are watching. So every time these guys breakout traders are joining this, I hope they are doing that. So we're going to be watching that and very closely. But I would not like to be selling the market when the market is going to this depths, you know, to this lower depths. I will be showing you the kind of things that we look for, the kind of using which kind of tools. So and then we can project the target thereof. You know, how low. This is exactly what I call it. How low can the price of the pound keep going down? You know, so that you are very careful not to jump in it before it's time. So let me just help you. How low can this price go? We are looking at the H1. The depths have started. This is the fall that started from. This is where we are. This is the fall that started from the night of the interest rate decisions for the US. It has been dropping. It's not getting any better now. Where can it drop? So meaning that you are asking the question, when can I start buying the pound, you know, or can you continue selling the price, which the gold? So you can see that from here that we are definitely looking at a free fall now. This price just bounced from this level. That's the breakout that happened. The breakout, remember, the Wednesday breakout started, the movement started from there, breaking to the downside. So that The pound is just right now reeling from the losses that it made from that Wednesday night. So we are still witnessing a serious onslaught on the side of the pound. So don't hurry to sell. We are still rather to buy, neither to sell, because I mean you're not really even very far from our target. And our target, as we said, when we use these pivot points, guys, the market is just about to be reaching to the bottom. So we're expecting that the pound should be coming to this point. As I was warning other guys, this is the level we are monitoring for. So we are going to be waiting in this session. We hope the price comes there. There's going to be something up for us right at this price. The price would be just about right. That's just about 1.380. We are now on 1.388. So we're waiting for a further drop of about 80 pips. So we're waiting for the further drop of about 80 pips, and that looks like it's a fib zone. So we are looking for this fib zone for the price to drop. It's approaching it, just about 80 pips to go into this zone. Then from there, we know that the reversal could be coming from that point. So the London session is just started right now after 2 days of negative, of losing. Of the plummeting of the pound, thanks to the strength of the dollar, triggered by the Fed decision to keep the interest rate the same and to keep the monetary and to release a monetary statement that shows that the Fed is pretty much hawkish. They're watching the interest rate, and that's what the market is expected. And they are definitely looking at that. They are also projecting a strong labor market, and that's exactly what the good news that came through. The price of the dollar kept going up, and in this case, we have seen the stock markets of the US recovering. But enough with the US. This is the London session. We are going to be concentrating on pound pairs, and we're also going to be concentrating on euro pairs. Whatever that you have, euro or pound, which one would you like us to look at? Beautiful crown, by the way. It's a beautiful bearish crown. I was warning some guys on Facebook to say, why do people really buy when they see patterns like this? I just want them to know, understand how people buy when they see patterns like this. This is never a pattern to buy from. This is a pattern to sell. This is a bearish crown. The crown was forming, and there was nothing definitely looking bullish about this. Be very careful. We're seeing the price there at the top making a rally base. There is a very clear rally base, or the market rounding the top. You really should be careful about this. That's the rally, the price making some higher highs there. There's the base. I don't know how some people get into this kind of decision, but anyway, let everybody suffer or gain from their own strategy. So this was the base we're talking about. This was a clear market, which was showing that this was the base during that time. So this would be the base. This would be the base. The base rally base drop. So I don't know. We're not coming from the same school, and we don't have to. But if we can advise, we can. But we had expected that the price of the pound in our market preview for the whole since May, we have projected that the price of the pound should definitely be retracing. I will show you from which level. I mean, that's the rally drop, rally base drop. Right, that's what we're talking about. That's the rally. So we are now on the drop. That's expected. Rally base drop. So that's exactly how these patterns are looked at. So we are on the drop. We are now on the you can call it the drop side. There's no problem. That's the rally drop. That's exactly what US dollar has done. So how far will this drop go? That's going to be the question that we're going to be answering tonight. That's exactly what we're looking at. So be very careful sometimes, guys. That's why we recommend that you really should be looking what we're doing or what needs to be done. We will look at gold and we'll look at the Nasdaq 100. Absolutely. Thank you, Matthews, for joining us. Thank you, let's get on it. Let's get on it, guys. Let's get on it. We're going to be looking at gold. We are also going to be looking at the Nasdaq 100. We are currently looking at the pound dollar. It is looking like a very yummy market, I must tell you. So what do you do? How do you know the extent at which it's going to be drawing? I have used the Fibonacci. I have used this morning, I've used the Fibonacci. That we could be having a very nice opportunity to counter the sell this morning, to counter the drop. This drop has just come back from the 161.8 where it has done a base, the expansions of the 161.8. It stayed there for many days, for the entire month of May, without dropping, just ranging. It's a base. That's why we call it a base, just basing between that top and that bottom. There is only the US news of Wednesday night that had caused and triggered the sell, the big sell after a base of the low. This was a serious basing of the market there. Rally base, we are now on the drop. There seems to be having nice buyers right on that candle. You can see that there are some nice buyers coming through, but these buyers are now currently restricted. Will they break this point? You know, they should be restricted somewhere around this point. I'm gonna keep it as an H1 M30 up to M15 resistance. All right, that's exactly what resisting right now. Can it break up to the upside? I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm seeing a 5, but this 5 could end up at 1.38. That's what we are monitoring currently, right? Can it be? Could it be what we're talking about right now? Okay, that's where we are. So we are monitoring GBP USD for an opportunity there. If you are a trader of GBP USD, that's where we are right now. We are looking at the price. We have to check if the price would be able to break. If the price would be able to break to the upside, I don't think so, but we will have to see. I'm not running the market. I'm not a market maker. I'm just watching as you are watching. I think the price should drop. I think the price should definitely drop to this 1.380 level. We are now at 1.389, 1.39. So it gives 90 pips. We still are left with 90 pips to the downside. Okay, this is 90 pips to the downside. That's what we're hoping to get from this market, 90 pips to the downside. Let me just remove. Remember, we're in a drop phase, so we are trying to, whatever you get is going to be more of a counter of the drop side. You're going to be trying to counter the downtrend. It's a counter trading system. If you need to do the counter, you need to have learned pretty well how to counter the market. I wouldn't be surprised now, guys, that the price should be on oscillator. The majority of the oscillators up to daily at least should be showing that the trend is oversold. Currently, I think even up to the dailies, we should be seeing that the stochastics and most of the oscillators should be showing us that the price is completely oversold. Right, let me just show you from the daily. There it is. The price is completely oversold. There you go. Okay, trust us sometimes when you do this. That's the beautiful market there. That's the rally based drop there, or the rounded top, and they were rounding the top. Very beautiful rounding of the top there. You know, I have got no facilities to just draw it nicely there, but that's exactly what happened there. I hope I have got some formula like an arc there, which I can use to show you that that's a very beautiful rounding off there. Beautiful. Right, then there is going to be the fib zone. This is the fib zone that the price used before. That's a beautiful ABC there. Found the C went up for the first time. Is coming to that. The price that we are going to be monitoring together. Remember, the stochastics is already overbought. The price we're going to be monitoring together would be the price between the reversal is expected. It could happen in this session. Perhaps the companies that are right now at the New York at the London Stock Exchange, they could be getting ready to bounce, to do the bouncing or to make the recovery of the pound. It's not going to recover that much, according to me. It is just going to be bouncing for a pullback of the drop, and then the drop should continue, and I will show you how. So we are looking for the price to be turning somewhere around 1.38364. You're watching that with us. That's the trading session. We are watching for that level, and we are looking at M30. There is the resistance. The price is still not closed, so we'll be going to others. Please, guys, let's monitor that level closely together. We are looking for the 1.380, 1.383. That's what we're expecting the price to go at. That's the H1. There it is. So there is still no space to the downside. There is nothing that stops this price from dropping any further and coming to this level. So right now, that's what we're looking at. And that's the GBP USD. You've got your account funded. Have you lost too many times? The high probability bouncing of the GBP USD is coming now. If you tried to buy it earlier, you were just buying in the air. We do not trade the price while it's in the air. There has got to be something that can sustain the price. The buyers look for the support that holds the price before they can buy it. The sellers are hoping and trusting that the resistance should be able to stop the price. Then they can sell it. So we do not sell, we do not buy in the air. You don't just use the movement of candles. That is for novice traders. When people just sell this candle, seeing this candle and selling it, it's not trading. You need to be knowing where this candle comes from and where it is going. So I've seen many guys losing money because they were trading. They just see a candle starting to turn red and they sell. They see a candle starting to turn blue. They say, no, guys, now it's time. The buyers are coming. That is for novice trading. This is for novice trading. This price, though it pushes, it's still facing some form of resistance. Remember that part. We are now at resistance. Is this the resistance that you could be interested in? We're expecting that this price should be testing this point as resistance. And if you be a scalper, this is what I will suggest to scalpers. The best way to do is that this is the breakout of the session. We are coming from the Tokyo session. Okay, let me just do that. So that's the end of the Tokyo session. All right, so that's exactly what I would rather recommend. If you're trading sessions, just the opening of the London session, broke the ranging of the Tokyo session. There it is. That is the Tokyo, and this is the breakout. This is how the London session started, right there. Now when the London started, you let it go. But if you like trading breakouts, that's up to you. This is the beginning of London. So London that started there. And when London started, it broke the small support which the Tokyo session had made. But you can see that the Tokyo session was also kind of selling the pound. During that session, there was also a lot of selling of the pound. One was expecting that perhaps the London session will come, bounce it further up, and then taking it back to the testing of the Tokyo resistance, which was that's what the support is broken, should have been the resistance there. They took the price slightly. London opened right there, and there they're going to the downside. So we are testing that breakout that happened during the open of the London session. We are still at resistance. Please note, guys, we are still at resistance. So scalpers, in this case, we suggest that if you be a scalper, that could be a very nice opportunity there. So we suggest in this instance that one consider this as the risk for selling last sell. By the way, this is for those who are rushing to go back to their work situations just to work before they can start those meetings. If those meetings have already started, that's what they look at. So this would be your so this would be their kind of, they will be looking at this as their risk, and then from there small risk, and remember, and then they'll be taking the rest to as the reward. Just showing you on how it's done. It's not the kind of, it's not the kind of a trade, but we're not the same. For those who are interested in this, then this could be what happens from now. Small risk, there it is. That's the reward. If you just need to be cautious there, some precaution, that's what you're looking at. So that's what we are talking about, right? So we're looking at something that looks something like this. Small risk to be making there. If the price break the current resistance, then from there we could see the pound going back again to become bullish. and missing that fib zone perfectly, just a touch. It must just kiss that fib zone nicely. That's what we are hoping to get, and that's what we are hoping to see, hoping that that would be the case. That's what you're looking at. Could it happen? Small risk right there. Just breaking inside, going in. The buyers are trying that. That's about 70 pips. And that's just about, I think this could just be about 10, 15 pips, exactly 15 pips for 70. So just over 1:6. Just leave it. If it can go break above the 1.39, we know that could have turned positive. There's nothing much to risk in this market. I recommend this to the guys who are trading small accounts. If you want to be turning a $7 account, $10 account, $15 account, you need to be taking this kind of risks of 10, 15 pips. Because if you're risking this, you are risking something like $1.50, $1.50 trading 0.10. It's a $1.50, but you're targeting something like $7, $6. So that's exactly good for the guys who are wanting to build up an account from less than $100, build it nicely by using those 0.01s. You keep on going, you keep going, keep pushing until such time that you can get your reward. That's how it looks like. I'm not gonna be interested. My interest is gonna be buying at the low, at that fib zone. So the interest of swing intraday traders comes here. The H4s and the H1 should be or are interested. This is the Tokyo session end, and that is the London Open there. All right. So that's what we're looking at. So in this case, I would be interested in buying this, because if I buy this point, the buy of the fib zone 1.38 then takes me back to the retest of the Wednesday night fall of the pound. It's going to be taking us back to the levels before the Fed, or just shortly where the Fed was releasing the results. So that's going to be very important for me. So there it is. I can already see that there's a very nice buyers that are coming there. I like when I see this week's anything that can start in the next 4 hours. There is going to be a bearish candle. After seeing this kind of pin bars this week's, it gives us confidence that one can start buying. One can even have buy limits around that area of the area of the uh, around the area of the fib zone. I like choosing the lowest point of the price, because that is the point that can defend me if the price would go to the downside. So in this case, I'm waiting for the price to drop to the bottom, because I'm going to be in the session. If this trade be activated in the session, I'll be able to monitor it. If it breaks further to the downside, I'll be monitoring on how the buyers will be coming back from that. And if it can touch the zero, that's only then that I could be, if it touch the zero, then I'll be waiting for it to come back to the same point of our entry. Then I'll be able to break out with break even there, get out, and then from there, perhaps consider selling or just leave the market as it is if I don't have any further information. Okay, so that's how it is. I know some other guys are expecting the price to just go straight to the bottom. It could still do that. There's nothing wrong with that. This may not be a good point for them. So, but currently the price is approaching the support, which is also a golden fib zone. It could be going up before it can go to the downside. In this case, we're expecting this resistance to still be. So if this goes nicely, we're expecting the retest of this broken point to be very, very yummy. It could be holding that for quite some time, and this is what we do. I'm gonna be going to gold from there. I'm looking to be taking, or this is just gonna be about, it's not really 1,000 pips. It looks like it's a nice one, from 1.38 to 1.200 pips. Just about 200 pips, according to my estimation. 1.40. Right, perfect. Right, wow. What a perfection, right? Right, I was just estimating. So we are expecting the pullback to go up to this area, and then from there could still be some form of selling again because of this big resistance. So there could be some sellers right there taking the price further to the downside. That's what we're looking at. Right, that's what we're looking at for the GBP USD. We've spent already half an hour on this pair, I can move on to the next one. I hope you guys are catching what we usually do there, and I hope that it will help you next time. So we are now on a drop phase, and the drop phase is expected to continue. I repeat, the drop phase is expected to continue. This is a counter trend, so it is not for the novice traders. If there's anything, perhaps the buy for you could be at the low, at the support, to go to the downside. But for now, I'm seeing that the stock, that the dailies, that this sell off is in need of a correction, and correction could be found somewhere around 1.38. I'm not going to be tempted by the buyers who are coming early into the price, because that's not what I'm looking for. You usually should not be tempted to be for the market to be missing you. The reason why so many traders are falling and are moving into traps is that they are tempted. There are the sellers coming in from that resistance. As I said, there it is. Remember, you sold right at this line, and there are the sellers beginning to kick in, because this is the point that is tested now as a resistance. So they are kind of confirming, will they hold? These candles must not intimidate you. These buyers candle entering into your level should not be the intimidator. You should be believing in your zone more than in a candle that faces your zone opposite. So this buyers candle should not resist me, because it's the one that ushers the price into what I call the slaughterhouse. There the sellers are coming in the next 15 minutes. Perhaps they are even starting the new candle of the 30 minutes. There it is. So this, remember, this was the demand level. It is now converted to become a supply level. So you are definitely trading a supply there. Don't worry. This is a supply. Even if it breaks, you are only 10 pips away from your entry point. Better way to trade. Again, better way to trade. Okay. Done with the GBP USD. I hope you guys are catching me. Let us welcome Mr. Morara was in and he's now not here now. So that's what we do, and that's what we are monitoring. And then what would you like us to look at? We're going to be looking at gold. Matthews is asking us to look at the price of gold. We will do that. All right. We will just be looking at the price of gold now. Yeah, the sharing is lost. Don't worry, we're still here. While we are still waiting for the price, oh yeah, it is my chart that is left. My chart has just been closed there. I think that's where the problem is. So that's what we are fixing right now. So as I'm fixing this, you can please remember to drop your question. If you know some Facebook pages or some other people who could be interested in the trading session right now, please, you can copy the link from our YouTube and share the link to say, guys, I am watching something amazing or exciting from this side. Join us and let's see how it all going. You're joining us from Facebook, most welcome. Joining us from YouTube, you're most welcome. From whichever platform that you are using. This is what you are looking at. Right, I'm going to be going to, let me just finish the pound first. Remember, that's what I said before. This is how the GBP USD is looking like. Completely bearish. There is a big resistance. Similarly, we're expecting it to keep dropping until it reaches the same point. It's not the fib zone, until it reaches there. It should be dropping until it reaches the 100, of our expansion. This is going to be the area where we think that they could turn back. So we're expecting for a small drop, but I believe that before the end of this session, most of these guys would have found the support. Most of the pound pairs will find the support. There is where it could find the support. Then from there, make a very nice pullback, which pullback can lead it straight into back to the resistance that it made some time back. These things happen. Remember, any movement of the dollar, of the pound from here, it's not meaning that it's bullish. It's just going to the slaughterhouse. You're expecting it to be going there, then drop. That's the one that you don't want to miss. I'm going to be there. And that's the one that you don't want to miss at all. The sell. Don't miss the sell. This sell can take the price to the absolute minimum. Remember, this is what you're looking at. The price of the GBP is very up. So we better sell at the top. But this is on a free fall. So, but we're waiting for the nice touch there. The nice touch of this resistance. If it does, if it doesn't, the price could still go to the downside, because that's why I wouldn't always It's not always a buy. This one, I would say, perhaps if it falls and it could go up to this point, anywhere there, so it could turn there, right? It could turn there, anywhere there, whichever it chooses as the GBP USD. But currently the price is coming to a intraday or to some form of a small support. That's what the price could do. These are the levels that we are monitoring. I will give you the price levels thereof. These are the levels that we are monitoring. If it does this, then you're expecting that the price would leave that alone and it's going to be turning there to go to the downside, whichever that the price will choose. So whichever that these guys will do. So that's what we are monitoring currently. Will it be the case? That's what we are going to be checking out. The pound, will we see the pullback of the pound in the session, or could it be next week? That's what we're looking at. So if the price does not turn at the small support, it could just go straight to the big support, and then that was going to be where it's going to be forming the neckline, leaving the top as the head, and then from there it will have found the head and shoulder pattern. All right, so that's the GBP. The euro and the pound, I'll come to the pound. This is the pound and the yen. So still looking bearish, I must warn you, but still at the top. Just be careful not to buy this in the long term. If you can, I don't mind. Avoid buying this because this price is on a free fall. So avoid countering. If your risk appetite is very conservative, I'm warning you, if you are conservative, don't chase these. Don't chase these. They are very dangerous to take. You can, it's only for those, it's about 260 pips, but they can be very costly in terms of risk. Because if you can take this price from there and the price does not give you the 260 pips, your risk in this case is just about 365 pips. So how do you use 380 pips for 260 pips? Does not make sense. So it's up to you if you know that you can just get out quickly below it. All right, so that's what we're talking about. So we are looking at the GBP JPY, and that summarizes it as it looks right now. I left it on H4 and I was going to be happy with it. Right, Matthew has asked us to look at gold, and we'll be doing that. Gold is my favorite. We will be going again back to gold. I can see that you guys are loving the price of like gold prices. I think that gold is definitely reaching some support levels, and I'll be going on it straight away. Let's go to gold because we have asked for it. Matthew, you have asked for gold. Thanks, buddy, always. And for the Nasdaq, though, as I say, Matthews, I wouldn't like that we go into the US indices during the London session. So I would rather be concentrating. I will look at the Nasdaq, but I would also like to be focusing on Euro stock indices. Remember, guys, if you really would like to be good with session trading, you need to know which instruments and which pairs do the sessions affect. The reason why session trading was started in the first place was that those stock exchanges are the one that influences largely, the instruments and the assets within that session. So this is the time when the Euro markets are opened. This is the time when the UK markets are open. So look for opportunities within there because that's where we expect liquidity. I would like you to remember that all the time. I know that all instruments are open. I know that US stock indices are being traded. Some Asian indices are not closed, only their stocks. But be careful that you must understand the reason why Euro London sessions or stock markets are open is that switch to really begin to look for opportunities within Euro assets, underlying assets, derivatives, and products. That's very key. That's why when I put together a London, if you can look at the most popular London strategy, London breakout strategy, it is the one that is targeting the euro dollar, GBP, USD. But the bottom line is that you are looking for a pound denominator. You are looking for euro denominator. Similarly, when you look at stocks, instead of NAS 100, look at the FTSE, because you've got the FTSE 100. Look at the German DAX. Look at the Frank 40. There are many other indices besides the Nasdaq, guys. So, but I will go to the Nasdaq. I just wanted to flag that it should not be the Nasdaq can move anytime, but we're expecting the majority of the movement of the Nasdaq to be coming through from the New York session, and we are going to be doing the New York session later today. We are going to be starting the New York session today from 4 o'clock South African time until around 5:30 or 6, depending on how the market will be, how vibrant the market will look like. So please remember that part. Don't forget that. So we're gonna be dealing with gold, and then we're also gonna be dealing with Nasdaq. But even during the New York session, we're gonna be checking. I will check the Nasdaq. Thank you. Even during the New York session, we have to look at gold because gold is correlated to dollar, and the dollar, though it moves across all sessions, but largely new capital, new flows, huge flows of the dollar currency trading is expected during the time when the New York session is open. All right. So that's it's a bias, but basically. So thank you so much for the question. Let's go though to the price, to the gold price. So I'm gonna be dealing with gold, and then I'm also gonna be going to the Nasdaq. So if you talk about gold, you are pushing me to go to the New York session. You see, that's exactly how it is. You profile yourself just like that. There is the price of gold. Missed a little bit. So let's go to it then. All right, there's no problem. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate the question. Quickly looking to you, quickly sharing with you. The Nasdaq is breaking the top. Simple. The Nasdaq is breaking the top. It is sitting nicely there. I don't know if there can be volumes enough, Matthews, to push this price during the London session. That's exactly what I talk about. There may not be just two enough. So you don't trade the Nasdaq anytime. In fact, that what I've lesson is that the Nasdaq traders, they are waiting for the volumes around the New York session, and then they'll be able to push these candles. That's how the New York finished. The That's how they finished. New York finished. Tokyo is still on course, but there seems not to be any money coming to the Nasdaq. Please, guys, exactly what you're telling you. The theory is the same. That the Tokyo did not push the Nasdaq. London is not pushing the Nasdaq. The thing that pushed the Nasdaq was the New York session. 8 hours of about 250 something pips just to push it out, leave it at the top. They will see it again when the session opens at 2 o'clock today. So don't worry, that's how it is. Doesn't really matter now. I know that if you are M15 traders, they could be excited about. There's nothing to be excited or even on the Nasdaq when you look at this. Nothing really. All right, for now. So there is a movement that can excite many traders. This could be a big deal for them. Just 32 pips, but we're looking to say that you are playing within a ranging market. It's a dangerous place to play in. Quickly, I'm done with the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, let me rather go to the DAX, and let me rather go to the FTSE. Then I could be expecting some form of some form of movement right there. Bullish consolidation. The New York has done their part. They have closed the market after making the Nasdaq to make a record high, making news everywhere. So that's, look at it like that. So let's go to the price of gold. All right. The price of gold. Gold bounced nicely at this point. I was hoping that it could go down again and just trigger that conservative buy limit of mine. But why is it bouncing on the 1766? I was looking for a psychological 1750. All right, but there it is. It is coming to the 1766 pure price trading. Then if it does go to the upside, then we could see it bouncing right back from the 1840 levels, which is the same price it broke of Wednesday. So the market is looking to recover back to where the price started. I don't think that this guy would be a challenge anymore. So we're just gonna be cruising from this harmonics pattern. That's what gold is doing right now. We are now watching the bullish harmonics pattern, not the bearish one. Just a small bullish harmonics pattern right there. Right, that's what we're waiting to see. So we are waiting for this nice pattern to form and to complete. So I wanted to catch it at the lower price, but gold has now launched a bullish reversal, but which is just a 10. Some people, they believe that it can still launch from here straight to the upside. Right. Right. That's where we are. So, but I like it to be at a lower price. I'm seeing one, two, that's a three, four, that's a five. I'm hoping it gives us a bit of an E there. I'm just hoping that that happen. But I will be very selfish for the guys who are already on it. I know some few guys who are already jumped in exactly at the 261.8 expansions. So Matthews, as it stands right now, passing on it, the Tokyo session has really influenced it that much. No, it's still the London session. They had a buy there. There's a big buy in there because the Tokyo session just kept it nicely consolidating at that top. So will the New York session drop it for the double bottom? Highly likely, because that's what happens. If they continue to buy the dollar, they could be pushing this price to come and make a double bottom. So they could, I'm not saying they will, I say they could bring it down. I'm wishing that they come, because then there's going to be more buyers from that demand area on a daily time frame, and also on a daily. I think this is the daily demand, not just the support. So that's what we're hoping to get from there. And that's going to be a very nice buy, by the way. Looking at the USD Japanese yen. I'll talk about the gold more. Let me not get too excited. You guys are getting me into another session before it comes. Be there during the New York session. Let me drop gold. Gold is fine. I will talk about gold during the New York session, guys. Come on now. Because I'm talking about something that is not going to be affected, that I'm talking about something that is not going to be affected that much. I mean, come on. Matthews, next time, don't do that, buddy. Well, now I know you are my friend. And I think you can be a friend of many. So don't do that, man. Don't do that. Kabza, thank you so much. I know that you love our work. We appreciate that. Yeah, I know gold is your favorite. Let it remain bullish. But I would just suggest, if maybe perhaps it's just for the purpose of management, you're asking me. If you are really trying to manage this, I would be saying, if I were you, I would then take profit right now at around these levels, because I'm saying, let me just quickly show you. Don't mind the mess, because I'm just yeah, at least this picture is clear. I would kind of be worried right now, because I know that it could be on smaller time frame show some form of a bearish divergence. They're still bullish, by the way, but I'm gonna be monitoring for some bearish divergence. There's still momentum, thank God. There's still some other momentum, and I think this momentum can push it up to this level around 1800. All right, we are now at 1791, 100 more pips to go. If you're on the trade, perhaps you must tell me. You must say, "Hey, coach, I'm long gold. I want to know how far can I hold." You can just hold up to. I would take it up to not 1811 conservatively. So take it up to 1805, 1800 to just be sure. I think psychologically it can go up to 1800. I will show you it with all guns blazing. Just take it up to there, quit, drop it. 1802 to be exact. 1802, 1805 will be to push it. Sitting nicely on the 161.8, ready to push up if you are on the trade. Like I said, I'm not giving signals of gold. Right up to that point, up to 1805, that's the maximum. I'll get out at 1800. We could be seeing some bearish divergence of the MACD. You see, the MACD then would be showing flat, and it will be deflating completely. If the MACD start deflating, then the price drops from this point, and that's where we could see a double. Okay, it could be going back to the 100, or coming back to the 161.8. But I'm anticipating a big sell around the 1800s. That is the one that can go and make the double top. You see how we put it. That's why I'm not going to be removing uh, my buy limit there. So it could come back and even test the 1720s before it can push again to the upside. Be very careful. Anything is possible here. So because of the sell that has happened before. So I would say that if you are on these rebounds, the negative sentiments are still there. They're not yet over. But of course, the technical levels for the bounce is there, but they could be the fundamentals could still push it to the downside from the 1800s, and they may want to push it to the 1720s. I will look at it when I am doing the New York session today. So if you are holding it, I would say go hold on it before the New York session. But as soon as the New York starts, I would say get out. So the London session may push the price until 1805. So for me, if the price during the New York session is around 1800, I would get out. Okay, I would get out and then I would be waiting for further information. But this suggests that it could come back to the same levels to make a double bottom, or to come give us a very nice head before it can give us a nice head and shoulder pattern. Perhaps this could be the shoulder. Perhaps it could gonna be coming down from there to look for the head. You can see that this is extremely bearish. The momentum on the H1, H4 basis to the downside is massive. So there's still a lot of momentum to the downside. Be very worried. So if it comes to the 261.8 of this level, 1800, I would be worried, Matthews. I would just wait for it. It could be coming down. Perhaps this could even be a ranging market. Either could give us a W or start making a bullish, but we could see consolidation. It's not meaning it will be an immediate rally to make the highest point. So that's what we are monitoring. All right. Thank you for the question. The Nasdaq, I've dealt with it. Can we deal with the DEX? Who has asked about the DEX? Can I sip my coffee, please? Blessing Mama Tiari said, I'm loving your work. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. Thanks. Sure, Matthews, I know you should be happy, my buddy. If you're holding the trade, hold it until you go to 1805, 1800. Be conservative. Take your money around 1800. Wait and see. There's nothing wrong. If you've got profits with you, there's nothing wrong. If you want to hold it for the long time, you can just do partial profit taking around 1800. Wait for the New York session to check what they do. They may give you yet another bullish confidence, another bullish candle. Breaking above that 1800 will be a confidence booster for the buyers of gold and the sellers, and the selling of the dollar would have started. All right, that's what we're talking about. I would like us to do the DEX first. Let's just take the question from Mr. Morera is still not yet here. If he's here, I know he will want to comment. Let me take something from Paul. Paul would like us to look at the DEX. Yes, Paul, the DEX is the correct. It's absolutely something to look at. Let me just check if I can find the DEX from the group of our indices. Can I find the DEX or under Euro? Right, the German 30. The German 30 is very interesting. There it is. I posted a video about it yesterday. I do not like what the German 30 is doing from a long time ago, and we are monitoring it. There it is. There could be something serious. Paul, thanks for the question, but you see, that's what I would like to look at it. Could this be a breakout? Okay, don't worry. Those lines that I've done, I've not changed them to become H4, H1. I'm on now smaller time frames. I think this should be like that. I really would like you to monitor the DEX, guys. The DEX could, for me, the DEX has come to a dangerous levels where I would rather, yes, let me leave that one. Let me leave that resistance. Please, guys, let us watch the DEX. During this session, there is some nice mobility. All right, there is some nice mobility. The DEX is not doing that well. It has come to the top. It has done well at the top, but it's not doing that extremely well at those tops. It doesn't just not do well at those highs. There's something that is beginning to block it, and a good trader is able to smell these opportunities. Don't buy anymore. I'm warning you, I wouldn't buy anymore. You see, as I showed you about the dollar, we're just seeing a rally. So I hope this is not a base. I hope I'm wrong. If this be the base, we could be in serious problems. So thank you, Scabello, for that. If this be the base, then the DEX could be in serious problems. If it can base this during the session, this is caution for them, meaning that we are beginning to see some caution of some other investors who are choosing to rather stay in cash and not commit any more funds. And I hope that I'm wrong. If this be the base, I'm just saying it's not. I'm not saying it's the base. It's not the characteristics of the base. But if these guys can continue to range, if these guys can continue to stay in this range, anywhere else, we'll be monitoring for some foreseeable future, perhaps even next week. Then the DEX would be in serious problem. So if they could use this, just to range between this top and this bottom, the DEX could be in serious problem. I'm just warning you. But I'm not expecting anything too much, because I'm not seeing too many people now beginning to be going up. They have been rejected many times. KB, we look at these things. This is the Euro London session. They will be looking at how many times. This is what causes anxiety in the market. You count how many times has this happened, where they try to push the price of the German 30 to the upside, and every time they try to push, you can count how many times you fail and tell me if you can try it yourself. You know, tell me if you can try it. One. No, in fact, it's not even one. The first one happened there. The second one happened there. Count how many times. Just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now is the eighth time. It's the eighth time during the time when you're investing that you are rejected at the top and the price falls. And they're monitoring all these 8 times. Okay. So you could be seeing the guy saying that I think this is what they call the limit. They could have come to the limit of this index. So this index, if it indeed found the limit, even if they can still try it, according to me, even if they can still try it, you can. I don't see it breaking above this point yet. You know, it needs lots and lots of money. It needs more money than when it started to break above this resistance. That is what is needed in the German 30. So they need to go and mobilize more capital. Their capital must even much more bigger than the previous one. So that's what they need to do. And every time they get there is still some form of seller. So even if they can go up to there, I don't expect that the price would be going down. Ultimately, according to technicals, these stacks should end up to the downside. Of course, if you're a small trader, this is all money for you. Could still go up. 170 pips, it's a lot. For us who are swing traders to investors, not at this level. We are taught and we are teaching that you never buy at the top. When you buy there, it's lower. All right, it's nice low. So let me just help you there. Could you buy and make that 170 pips? Can you buy? Yes, you could, because there's a bit of nice swing, nice pullback there. All right, but this resistance, you should be very careful. I hope this resistance does not hold any seller back. Only if this can be broken, you can be assured of a potential new high, you can be sure of the new potential high. Right. You could definitely be looking at this, as your kind of shoulder, but yeah, in this case, you're looking at the fib zone of these guys. Perfect fib zone. There could be some beautiful opportunity to buy there for that 175th attempt for any scalper. So you see, which definitely looks like a nice recovery. So there it is. So they could be looking from this, pushing it up to make a new high. And that's the high. That's what I was speaking about. Again, that's exactly where rejection happens. Watch that. Watch. So that's exactly where I wouldn't. All right, there it is. Last opportunity. When I say last opportunity, I'm seeing big problems there. Every time the decks go there, they give us a bearish harmonics pattern. So they know how to drop these guys. They are now giving us a bearish harmonics patterns. I'll keep them as H1s and H4s, or let me put them as M30s, harmonics. There it is. So every time they come there, they give us a very similar. So that resistance is full of bears, not a joke. They even come by giving us some bearish flags there, then by some bearish harmonics, not for the first time. So I'm gonna show you the one that is busy forming there. So if you're gonna be joining this buy, you must know that you are going to be giving us a sell signal, So the 200, the 170 pips that the scalpers will be looking for there would be the ones that give us it will be the ones that's going to be giving us a bearish signal. What's happening with this? Right. Hey. Right. I'm going to show you. If it does go up, it's going to be giving man, this is dangerous. Hey, Kabela, why are you showing us these things, man? Thank you, man. It's a London, it's a Europe. So that's what I'm looking for. This is absolutely dangerous move. This is the dangerous move that everybody who's gonna be buying, any investor who's gonna be buying the DEX must know that he's creating a pattern, harmonics pattern that will take it down to the lowest point in this season. There it is. There it is. This is a butterfly, right? This is a butterfly. I can smell it. I know it. I trade it, and I love it. That's the one I love most. That's a butterfly. Expect the price to be coming back to the support at the top. Oh! I've got just given you a signal. Beautiful, beautiful signal in there. All right. So I would rather not buy. I would rather be selling that top, that resistance with a butterfly pattern, a butterfly, not just a bat, not just a crab, not just a, you know, any other. Beautiful, not just a gutly, beautiful butterfly in there. Beautiful one. So the price should be able to be taking, if it does not base here, then we expect the price to be using these kind of harmonic patterns to be dropping to the downside. And as I have said, remember guys, I have given this, I've indicated to you that this was a buy during one of the London sessions. So in this case, I'm indicating the price could drop from there and could come right back to this support. And whether it's going to be holding that momentum, I don't know. Only German Chancellor Merkel will be able to save it from that onslaught. So, but my analysis tells me it will never survive this onslaught. As we can see this, I think it's definitely going to be coming down back to the 14,000. I know I'm crazy. I trade it like that. I'm a crazy, crazy, crazy mentor, crazy coach. We take the cells like this, we keep them, watch as the price plummet, read the news, just watch them as they don't know where they're gonna drop. And then from there, we're gonna tell them, because we are small guys, they will never know where it dropped. Then we will tell them to where is it gonna drop. But this is a mix of a disaster. There's a mixture of a disaster forming on the decks. But well done to them. So if I be an investor of any money in the German economy or in the German 30 companies, I would gladly take my money and wait for some time. No greed. Take my money, wait for some time. I would have gained pre-pandemic levels, higher of them, and I'll be saying, thank you so much, Germany. You have grown my portfolio. I'm good. Next time, we'll look at it. Okay. So be very careful. Those who are investing in the Nasdaq, that's me. Of course, there are many of our money that is in Germany right now. And if your money is in the stocks, your aim is to be on it for 10 years, for 20 years. I'm not saying that the pension money will be gone. I'm just saying that there's going to be a big pullback that could be coming through. Then from there, that big pullback will be opening a window for another big flourishing of those stock markets. Stock markets are always bullish in their nature. Anything that falls, anything that drops is regarded as a correction or a pullback. It's normal, it's acceptable. So, but if you are just a trader, you are wanting to be sure that that which is happening is that which can protect your money. So that's a sell, meaning that that's the beginning of a pullback. Yes, the German DAX won't be going to the gutter. It is going to be doing according to as a pullback. Of course, it's going to be just a big pullback. It's going to be the pullback equal to what it did. I mean, this thing as compared to that, this was not even a pullback. This was a bearish market. This one, I mean, it lost 5,500 points, as compared to just losing just a little bit there, just about 2,000 points, 5,000 versus 2,000 points. So that's a 2,000 points of a loss. Then it will be recovering beautifully, I must tell you. Then it's going to be reaching up and making a new record high by the year end 2021. And it looks poised for 17,214. So new funds will be coming in around 14,000 and push it 3,000 points up. When it reaches there, I don't want to say what's going to happen. So that's what I'm saying. Perhaps it can break the 161.8, the 17,000. If it does break that, then the German DAX is poised for 20,000. All right, 20,000 points. There's way too much value on the German DAX, I can tell you now. Right. I hope you get. I'm giving you way too much information. I hope one day you refer back to this. I hope sometimes you refer back to these videos, because I have given so many and so much signals where the market will go without a charge. So I hope that you guys will be able to use this and use them very well for your own selves. German DAX is done and it's dusted. Welcome, Molemo Mokwena. Welcome, Figile. Welcome, Teboho. You're most welcome. Welcome, Senate. We appreciate you guys following us everywhere you go. Yes, we will be looking at NZD. Swiss franc Mulimo is asking us to look at Euro NZD and the NZD CHF. Let us also welcome Mr. Silas, the indicator. Silas, you good there? I've been chopping this now. We're going to get to that. Right. We're going to look at Euro NZD. Oh, firstly, Matthew is coming back with Euro pound. And then from the Mulimo would like us to look at NZD and the Swiss franc. Good pair. The Euro and the NZD. And then from there, he also would like us to look at and somebody else would like us to look at the Euro GBP. Morning, can you also check if Euro GBP I bought at 0.85? I think let me start with the Woha because he's managing a trade. I bought at 0.85653 and took profit at 0.8 and could not hold for long. Why did you leave? Okay, that's a good one. Let me go to Euro GBP, Mr. Indicator, and then take it from the Euro GBP. Good question, by the way, because this session is for that. So there is something that I just don't like. Like I remember, I'm speaking in the context of myself being an intraday swing trader to investor, but there is some opportunities that you are right. If you are nibbling on it, I think you are doing the right thing. That just takes a bit of nibbling, right? Just be careful there, because if you bought, I know some friend of mine that I really know has been asking for a sell on this. I just monitor. Okay, firstly, I do not like markets that consolidate like this. That's just to tell you. I'm gonna be frank with you. Okay, if you are a person who's trading small accounts, all right, and you are trading the small accounts, your money gets locked. These are daily charts, guys. These are daily candlesticks. Your money held and moving just like this. So technically speaking, I'm just telling you that that's exactly why some people stay too long and make little. I wouldn't be interested in this now. There's the level I'll be interested in at this demand, and the price is coming there on a daily time frame. All right, but yes, there is an opportunity to buy. The opportunity comes from the smaller time frames. I hope that's what you look at, because I've been chopping that also. The opportunities come from the people who are looking at this support. There is an opportunity to, but I don't like it that much now, because there is a bigger demand and the price is coming and hitting this very slowly. So yes, you did right to leave. I would say that the person who, if you have left that buy, I would absolutely understand what you're talking about. I would also be afraid, Instead, I would then be afraid of this resistance. This resistance is grinding the price and is pushing it gradually, and is pushing it to the downside. I wouldn't be interested in many other buys. The personally wouldn't be at all. I would just be. I'll tell you why. Because I don't like where the daily chart. Let me just show you the daily chart. Remember, we are expecting, there it is. There is the daily chart. The euro is already weak against the dollar. I would rather be waiting to try to attempt a buy there, but still it will be gonna be a risky one. That's gonna bounce, but this resistance can put the pressure on the price. We can see that the buy limit for me is further down. This was supposed to be a head and shoulder pattern. Let me break it down for you. We look at the market like that. This is supposed to be a head and shoulder pattern. That's why I left this market, because it was supposed to be a head and a shoulder pattern. This is a very nice shoulder, beautifully done. All right, beautifully shoulder. So they are doing this justice. So, and this shoulder should have held. You see this? This is called price action. Should have turned there and should have at least done another try there. It failed. This price should have gone there. Right? Should have gone. Didn't go. At least it must have gone up to this level. Right? Either this level, but it should have gone somewhere up to there. Remember, the head and shoulder patterns gives you equal. There it is. So it should have gone it up to there. Never did. And we can see that these guys are slowly chowing and eating up this shoulder, this pattern. So that's exactly how we look at the market. So in this case, I will deliberately tell you that this shoulder is completely gone, and that's exactly what you see this. So I would be very apprehensive to be calling for anybody to be buying Euro GBP now. All right, because then you rather be waiting for the low currently. And this can even cause a problem that if they are chowing on this shoulder so much, this could be causing a problem of a failed head and shoulder pattern because the neckline did not break. And let me just tell you, my friend, if the head and shoulder patterns break, we are going a pattern fail or gets invalidated, we make the same amount of money the opposite direction. So those who are keeping on short, like my friend, another friend of mine on Facebook has asked for the sell, but I think it was too early to call. There it is. Then we should be able to see the price breaking this head now. And if it breaks the head, we make the same amount from the neckline to the head. We make it from the head back to the downside. And if the price does that, it's going to be complying with or confluencing with my analysis, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside and reaching our expansions of the 261.8. I don't have to show you how I build it up. I've been monitoring this for the long time. So I wanted to nibble a little bit by going up there by using ABC pattern, where I was expecting my fall to be somewhere there because the 3 is already found, because the one rather, there's the 3 and my 4 there just below the 1. But just, yeah, it was supposed to be just below the 1. Yeah, I found my 3 somewhere there, at 161.8 of that, but that did not happen. So that is not the 4. This seems to be like this, the 4 now, and I'm looking to go, and this price could be looking to go to the 5. That's why you see my buy limit at the end of that, at the 261.8. So pretty much for the failure for these guys to bounce back from the 161.8 to go back to the 127 pullback, they are highly likely to continue to go to the 261.8. And I would like to say, according to me, you did well. You did well. I think it's the Boho. I think for me, it is a good decision that you've made. It's a good decision that you've made to just take. You could not hold any longer. Just take a break there. Wait to see. I'm not calling for a sell. Neither am I calling for a buy. The price I would only call. For me, I would only call if the price can break the bottom, which is at the demand level, because I know that it's going to be going to the new demand. But buying there would not be a big problem. Sometimes it could be a 5, because a 5 can be equal to a 3. So I would not mind, but I would be watching that, could be buying a little bit, watch that. If that 3, but if this is broken, I'm seeing the price moving back until it reaches the 0.81, 0.82 level. We are on 0.83. So the price can still flock to the downside by 300 more points. This is how we break it down during the Euro session. Relevant stuff. Thank you, Beboho. Right, so that's what we're looking at right now. So, but this resistance, it's ushering this price beautifully. They are really doing, for me, they are doing much better than the support. The support is lost, or it doesn't hold nicely, meaning that it is losing structure. The buyers are losing structure. It's like that game of wrestling, when they're doing the scrums, and they are doing the whole pushes, when they do push, you can see that the buyers are losing their shape. It's called shape. They're losing their shape, and the sellers are holding their shape very nicely. So in this case, I would go with the one who holds the shape. The sellers are holding their shape very nicely, and the buyers are losing structure. Looks like the buyers will try to gain some to breathe when the price comes to the head, back to where the price was before. Okay, so that's the euro dollar. So thank you for the question. Who else? Who else is there? You're welcome, Deborah. You're always welcome, buddy. Right. So, but at the same time, like I said, I wouldn't suggest a sell because they are grinding to the downside. It's a slow tussle. It's a slow scrum. It's moving slowly, but definitely for me, it looks like the sellers will make a try. Highly likely to make a try or to reach the target. Then that's where at least the buyers will begin to breathe. So you did well to leave at that time. Let's go to Mulemo. Mulemo Mukwena would like us to look at the Mulemo would like us to look at the Euro NZD or the NZD Swiss franc. Let me start with from my new. I think they are all in my New Zealand dollar profile. The New Zealand dollar profile does not look that enticing. I don't like it. Let me just show you my screen. I'm waiting on the new dollar Swiss franc. It has been, again, I monitor this. I'm looking at this channel. The channel is not yet ripe. It's not ready. I would suggest to you, without even going to the details, the Swiss franc. It's a good question because we're in the session. There's still the Swiss franc is grinding, and I would definitely be suggesting that a buy can come anywhere. Find for lower. Let's basically waiting for the price to go lower, and which could be sometimes next week. So I'm not giving a signal. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. I know some guys could be having their support like that. I don't do supports like this. Thank you very much. That's not my support. Sorry, that's not mine. Here's my support. I don't push the price. I don't force the price to do things that is not done. So, but if that's your support for others, guys, we're not the same. You don't have to be. I'm waiting for the price to go further down. But I know some guys that they're using this as support, That's not my support, as I've told you. The price can still go down. I'm looking for the support that confluences another big support. So this is my support. I'm waiting for the price to drop here, and there I would have a buy limit there that takes the price. I'm already in a similar trade on the Euro Swiss franc, and I'm waiting for the price to break this top and go to the upside. No, thank you. I'm not interested in buying New Zealand dollar and the Swiss franc now. That is the level that I'm gonna be interested in. Back to the top. Good question, by the way. Euro NZD is going nowhere. I would not be interested in it at all. Going nowhere slowly is called Euro NZD. Not interested, absolutely. It's caught somewhere there. We break it down. Sorry that I'm looking at the weeklies, because you guys are mainly short-term traders. There could be mobility which I don't get. So for me, I look at that first. This is not a good structure for a novice trader. Be warned. Be warned heavily. All right. This is not a very good structure. According to me, I would not advise any novice trader based on structure to try this market. This market will trap you and it will finish you. Let me just say it again. These are the kind of markets that will finish you. You will be trying to sell, beat you, buy, sell. Why? Because it's a market that does. If a market can't give you the shape, what are you trading? So for me, I don't see any shape yet, or a good shape for a novice trader to trade here. All right, and we show you what I mean. So be careful. Let me just put it like that. Be just careful. All right, but because you asked, let's help you. What would I do? Well, basically ask me, coach, then what must I do? Okay, I'm trying to look from the view of what you guys are looking at, because if you are an H4 trader, you could be looking at this. I'm trying to, when you see me zooming out like that, I'm trying to look for shape, or for structure. If the market does not give me a good structure, I do not like the price that does not give good structure. These swing points and pivot points are swinging everywhere. This is not a good structure. How do I know the price does not give structure? You must give me a good structure. The structure, the price must respect, must respect the pivot point, must never cross it unnecessarily, chop the market, because all those are traps. All right. All right, so I don't like that. So, but anyway, let me look for structure for you because you've asked for it. I don't trade Euro NZD. I'm not interested. These guys don't fall into good positions. They don't, And I think I must have breaking this down together. It does. You don't have a price doing something like this and think it's normal. That's what you look for first. What is it doing? What is this price doing? If you can't draw this, if you're an architect, if all these points does not give you a building, a proper building, what do you want on it? Okay. So this does not look like it's a building that you can build on. You see, that's what I'm talking about. You see, doesn't make sense. When I say it does not make sense, I don't know if this can be interpreted into a pattern. What type of a pattern is this? Right. Doesn't make sense. So meaning that it does not make structural sense. All this. So I'm trying to look for structure, but I'll help you because I'm only looking at this time frame, only this pair on. But you see, that's because we trade anything that is on our chart. That's why I'm encouraging people that if you want to be consistent, join our education program, because structure is important. Structure is everything. If you don't understand the structure of the market, you're gonna be caught. You are most likely to be trapped all the time. You think that the market is playing a game, a true game, and you are going to, but the market was practicing. So we are trading practice games, meaning that some people have bought tickets to go and watch a practice game of a team they like, because we are falling in love with pairs. Generally, I'm not bashing. I'm just saying that I know people who have just fallen in love with pair, or because they can analyze, they trade anything. So when I see something like this, I cannot plot. And if I need to plot this, I need to look for structure. Where is it going? And that's for me where's the problem, because if you need to be drawing the support, if you're trying to draw the support like this, the price went down and went up again. So it's not the support. All right. If you're trying to draw the resistance like this, it's not the resistance. The price went up there and went back again. So this is not the resistance. Okay. I'm just showing you it's not, because the price went up there and came down. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So not good. Watch that. No shape. Right. Because there's no shape, that's why I go to longer time frames. That's exactly when we now say that the smaller time frames are making noise. So the better shape that I'm getting will be from H4 absolutely zoomed in. So this would be my support currently, right? Which I found on H4 after zooming that in. Then from there, this would be my resistance, right? Though I don't like it, because I cannot be going down to this point, I would rather be going to these levels, right? Because I wouldn't be wanting to push the price to where the price is. That's how we draw support and resistances. It's not a very good resistance. There's a lot of traps that I'm seeing at this resistance, but in the meantime, you can try to just believe in it in the meantime. That waist trend next time, could it be breaking out? Right, then that's better. That's how we trade. But still, the better picture will be here. You see, so there's nothing to look at on the smaller time frames. That is the better one. So there, in fact, it much looks better. Could this be the breakout? That's what you're asking. Does not look like, meaning that your breakout will not be confirmed by smaller time frames. Anything below H4 would not be at bet, would not be a good, would not be a good time frame to trade. That's it. This looks bearish. Okay, guys. Right. So I've just discovered for you a bearish ascending triangle, right, on a daily. So the price could be moving right from there first, going as I expected for the last time to the downside, because I think for me, as on the weekly time frame, you can see we're waiting for it to go down for the last time. There it is. Where will it go? We're going to go to the weeklies. The weeklies are suggesting that these guys could be limited to this point. If they can break this top, then Euro NZD is officially and big bearish. So there could be a limitation to this support. So yes, it is time to sell for those who want to take the opportunity of that bearish flag. There's nothing wrong selling there. Let me go check how it looks like. Something like this. That's a lot of pips. Right, there it is. A lot of pips for intraday trader. Sell. It's a lot of money there. 700 pips. 290. I wouldn't. I'm advising you frankly. Wouldn't sell if I can't afford this. That's me. Yes, your NZD is negative. It's a big signal I've given you. Who's that? But if you can't afford it, don't take it. That's my policy for market previews. If you can't afford it, don't take it. Meaning that don't blame me if the price goes to the top there. If you don't have the money for the risk, you can't afford the reward. That's my policy. If you cannot, because this price can still drop even anywhere between the current price and 300 pips. So if you cannot afford the 300 pips, don't try it. That's my policy. 200, 300 pips. That's it. But it has come to the resistance, which the resistance has been holding from as far back as January this year. Right. That's what it is. It's not an M30 time frame trade. This is a daily. This is swing trading. It's a swing trader. That's why the stop loss is gonna be about 300 pips, and the amount of money to be made is about 600 pips. 1:2. Right. That's how it is. Hope you like that, buddy. And I think most of you are asking this for signal purposes. It has got the tendency, if it does not meet up that challenge, it can want to make. I don't think it could though, because not all this head and shoulder patterns gets fulfilled. By the way, be very careful. So for now, the risk is just about 300 pips. Right. Hey, you guys are doing free consultation. Well done. Thanks for the breakdown of the NZD Swiss franc. I had jumped into it early. Yeah, I know, buddy. It does sometimes happen, Molemo. Just be careful there, and that's what usually happens. So I would be very careful to. I'm happy that you take my advice. The price could still go down because the New Zealand dollar anyway is still suffering, and I think that's what I wanted to show you. Then that's what I watch. I don't just trade. You can see I've got profiles. We don't just trade. I've got a New Zealand dollar profile. I'm not interested. Why? Because the New Zealand, can you see the New Zealand CAD is wanting to still go further down. You can see that it can still go down some few hundred points, 200 pips to drop. I'm waiting for that. New Zealand, this guy also 200 points. So it looks like the New Zealand dollar is still have got to drop 120 pips to drop. New Zealand Japanese yen holding there, it dropped. So I would be very careful to be wanting to buy something that is already wanting to drop. NZD USD, there it is dropping. All right. So you now, because from the point of correlation, you are able to look at the base currency that you want. The GBP USD could still be going up. Do you see that? So this is the weakness of the NZD. So the NZD is a very, very, very good asset to get, but it can still go up against about 400 pips. So the pound can still beat it some 400 pips. So that's what I look at. So I'm not interested currently, and I would not suggest anybody jumps into this. It is strong, but it's not time to buy it. Right. Wow, you guys are asking me serious question. Who else? Right. We are now. It's now past. I think I can only take the last more questions, and now go to take a break from the London session. Before, I think I have promised to deal with the FTSE, because the FTSE is one of the big indices there. So let me check if I could get the UK 100, because I think for me, the UK 100 could be something that we can look at. UK 100. Right, I should add it. UK 100. The people wants to know what's going to happen to the UK 100. Now I've added it to the indices. Right, after the UK 100, guys, we're taking a break from the London session, and I'm going to be seeing you later on during the New York session as we finish the week that was. Beautiful week. Right. Let me break it down first from weekly. Wow, that's a bullish thing. That does not look good. Bullish movement. That does not look good. This is called a rising wedge in an uptrend. Always does not look good. Pretty much looks like the German DAX. I think most of you can already see that. So I would be very worried. This would worry me. All right. And I think that is exactly what this price is trying to do. It's looking for a correction. All right. The FTSE for me is looking to correct. It has not. This pattern is a butterfly, and they are trying to superficially stop it. then nobody's gonna stop this. So for me, I'm negative, never positive, never buy. Right, I'm negative. You know, it has done well so far, but that's a big. The price fell there. You know, there is they were responding there. That's a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should have dropped, but they're holding this drop. So what is the drop? They are delaying this drop. So it is normal. Allow the correction, but the investors are not ready to let go. So can it go below that price? Not sure. You tell me. I'm not seeing anything on the FTSE. Perhaps they may want to do that, but I think that the FTSE is in need of a serious correction. They are doing well. They can keep their support, and this support can make them keep ticking to the upside. I think they can use this, what do you call it, pre-pandemic. This is a COVID-19 support. Beautiful. Right, they can still, I mean, they still have got a very nice opportunity to go to the upside, but yeah, the UK is looking solid, eh? So even if they can drop up to there, they still look solid. You know, that's your A, B, C. They still can launch. You know, they can still launch. You know, even if they can drop up to this price, you know, they can still launch again to the upside. You see, that's exactly the something that is very difficult. Selling stock indices. I know that's exactly what's happening. I think some of you can see there's another one there. There is another harmonics. I don't like the price should be going up and leave these traces. Right. That was a serious rejection there. They tried to go to the upside and they managed to see a big rejection. Okay, so that's how it looks like. So this looks like it's another, because if I just separate them, that looks like it's another one. Where can it go? So that's how it looks like. Excuse me. So yeah, there's the fall. I'm seeing a head and shoulder pattern that is formed on H1 there. There it is. Just to keep showing you. That's a head and shoulder pattern in, there it is. That's a serious breakout there. There it is. Gone. Right, there it is. This morning as we talk. So as we are talking right now, I would be considering to sell this. I would consider the FTSE to be negative. I would consider the FTSE to be negative. Big pin bar there. That's a nice shoulder, nice shoulder. There's the breakout happening in this very session. So one would be waiting for the price to come and retest the same point where the price broke right there later on. Breakout traders are already riding on it. I wouldn't do that, as I always recommend. I don't chase the breakouts. We're not the same, you know. You don't have to trade like me, but at least we can note something. I don't chase the breakouts. I take retest. There's a beautiful retest online chart. This is how we wrap it up, guys. Okay, you chase it. There is the target. Reaching the target right now. The Nasdaq, rather the FTSE, is reaching the target for the breakout of this neckline. Should be during the same session. Go back, touch the 7133, and continue during the entire session while I'm gonna be on a break, gonna have my coffee, and could be going to the 6,952 by the end of the session. Yes, I told you this is possible. You say, Coach, why so far? Why not? Depending on what pattern do you trade, right? So I'm expecting the FTSE perhaps next week when you talk, we're gonna be checking the FTSE again, and the FTSE could be around 6,900. That's the fall that I'm projecting right now. Negative sentiments have already come in, and I don't see this support surviving. In fact, this is also broken, gone, buried. It's now the resistance. Okay, so yes, you got it in this session. At least there's something that happens before the end of the session. There's a very nice sell there, 7133 sell. If you cannot afford this price, please, including the week, please don't try this. You should be able to afford the top because we're selling the first breakout there. If you cannot afford the 7213, you cannot. For me, I'm not like you can't, you shouldn't, because the risk is not adequate for you. If I use the Fibonacci from the upside, the price would still go around the 7,000, and the price can even still shock you. We can still even go to the 6,840. That's how we do that. So in this case, the best buy would still be the same shoulder. For others, the price could still try to recover, and if we can hit it again there, it's up to you on how good you are with these things. And they could be going and using this level. So that's the level there. That's the one that top. But in fact, they wanted to drop from here. Then they could be dropping from this fib zone. All right. And this, I can deliberately make it a fib zone, meaning that the price would turn at, we are deliberate. The price would turn at, where will the price turn? Here. There it is. The price will be turning there, making this move to that point and dropping from that point after making this to be the shoulder, ultimate shoulder, then dropping the downside. That's how it is. Guys, I could have not explained it any better than this. So thank you very much for joining us during this beautiful London session. One of the sessions I've enjoyed on a smaller basis. I think these guys are selling, but there could be some serious recovery there. Be very careful. There could be some serious recovery. This is stock index. Money flows here, so it's easy to flush out these orders if you don't have enough money. That's why I say that the top the top resistance is your best protection. So because the price can flush this neckline again, go back to the same shoulder, and then from there get sellers to the downside. Anything can happen. That's why you see wicks everywhere. But as it is, definitely looks like the FTSE 100 has broken the key support. Okay, until next time. Let me just check. I don't think there were any questions there. You are most welcome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us in the Pip Oven for Friday for the London session. Have a very good session from now on. We meet later today for the New York session as we finish the trading week. Until then, keep making money. We'll meet later. Good morning.